Squeeze, Buffy Mills. Hi there. Thank you for joining. Today I'm going to talk about title and rights. There was a question that was posted on the unofficial Facebook page regarding title and rights and asking what our perspectives were. And so I'm going to take you on a little bit of a story that kind of really grounds my perspective, right? So when I think about historically about how our nation leaders, despite incredible odds, were able to gather and subvert colonial rule, right? When we think about that, because there was a time when there was a lot of fear around Indigenous people being able to gather, organize, and even hire lawyers for that matter. And so our leaders, at great personal risk, gathered and presented a unified front. They worked together and they knew that we needed to be aligned and that we needed to unify and work together in order to protect ourselves, our rights, our land, and to subvert that monster we call the Canadian government, right? They are a monster. They're a huge machine, right? That looks to commoditize our lands and resources. And certainly with some of the most recent plans that I'm seeing put forward on an economic recovery platform, there's some cause for concern and even more reason for us to unify and be together. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because when we think about the Okanagan Nation Alliance and how that table came to be and its current governance structure, there was a time when our leaders got together and there was recognition that at that table that some of our smaller communities didn't have the resources to defend title and rights. And so the idea was to come together in a very equitable way to make decisions about our priorities, our title and rights, and how we're going to move forward. And that's great, right? It served a purpose. There was an acknowledgement by the Okanagan Indian Band that there was a disparity in power for smaller communities, that their voices were smaller and somewhat silenced. OKIB, being the biggest community, made some sacrifices in agreeing to that governance model, right? We do have the largest population, and that counts for something. But at the time, it was more important to be unified, and it was important that we supported our smaller communities. We fast forward now to our current reality, and we know that there are issues at the table. Somewhere along the line, the expectation that OKIB was going to continue to give up its fair share has happened, right? At least that's the way it seems. I think that it's important that us as leaders, or OKIB leadership, really remind everyone sitting at the table about the sacrifices that our community has made for those smaller communities. We need to focus on relationship building and devising a fair and equitable approach to resource sharing, right? Just like OKIB put its population per capita numbers aside in order to support smaller communities to add strength to their voice at that table, now it just needs to be recognized that we are still the largest community with the biggest population, and we have needs. And we need an equitable approach to how we disseminate or share resources. It's not a hard conversation to have. There needs to be recognition of it, right? And we need to stay at the table. Absolutely. We can't abandon tables because we don't like what we're hearing and we don't like how we're being treated. No, we have to assert ourselves, and we have to remind the table about how we as a people are fair and equitable in our approach to governance, to resource sharing, all of those things which are part of who we are. sometimes it's hard. You have to remind people that no, we are not born out of a capitalist methodology that has one winner taking all. That's not who we are. Who we are is individuals or people, individual communities that share resources, that share and support each other. And I think that that's the message that needs to be taken to the ONA table. It doesn't mean sacrificing or giving up, but what it does mean is staying present and always providing a reminder that this is how we came to be. It was out of a place of equity. It was out of a place of recognizing disparity that we came together at that table and worked together. And we can still do that moving forward. It just means tough conversations. It means transparent conversations, and it means taking the time to come up with adequate and appropriate solutions that benefit everyone at the table. So those are my thoughts about title and rights. And I hope you liked what I had to say. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to send me a message through Facebook, or you can DM me, however you need to. But yes, please ask me your questions. Take care. Bye.